Hi, I'm Alex McCrickard, and this is an update for the month of June in Virginia. In this month's report, we're going to hear from Jonathan Harris, DWR fisheries biologist, who's going to highlight the fishery and management strategies at Fluvanna-Ruritan Lake, one of our department-owned impoundments. But before we jump into this unique fishery, I wanted to take a moment to congratulate the first 50 anglers who've successfully completed our new Virginia Bass Slam Challenge. Here are some photos of some of the successful anglers, in addition to anglers that are on their way to completing the challenge. Remember, you have 1 year to catch 3 species of bass, including a largemouth, a smallmouth, and either a striped bass or a hybrid striped bass. Also, 2022 is the year of our aquatic regulatory cycle, and public comment period is currently open until July 26th for anglers to comment on our new fishing regulations that are proposed. Your voice matters. To comment on these regulations, you can follow the link that's on the screen or the link that's in the description below. These comments will be taken into account when the board votes to approve these regulations during the August meeting. Now let's head over to Jonathan Harris to learn a little bit about Fluvanna-Ruritan Lake.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Harris, District Fisheries Biologist with the Department of Wildlife Resources. And welcome to Fluvanna-Ruritan Lake, also known as Ruritan Lake. Fluvanna-Ruritan is a public fishing lake owned and managed by the Virginia Department of Wildlife Resources, also known as DWR. This 50-acre impoundment was constructed in 1956 with the help of the Fluvanna-Ruritan Club, who secured the land for the lake. The lake is located in the rolling Piedmont of Virginia, approximately 6 miles west of the small town of Palmyra in Fluvanna County, and is conveniently situated less than 30 minutes from Charlottesville. You can find the entrance to the lake on Route 619, just west of the intersection with Route 53 in Cunningham. Look for public fishing lake signs on 53 and follow the signs to the lake. The lake is open year-round to boating, fishing, and wildlife watching. For anglers and boaters, there is a concrete ramp and large gravel parking area for vehicles and trailers. DWR owns a 50-foot buffer from the shoreline around the entire lake, where bank anglers can walk and fish. There is a good footpath that leads down to the open areas on the dam that are great for shoreline anglers. Please remember to collect and remove any trash that you may accumulate while fishing from the lake. Gasoline motor use is prohibited on the lake, and only the use of electric motors is allowed. Moreover, there is no need for a big motor, as one can traverse the entire lake by trolling motor or paddle if needed. Now let's talk about the lake's fisheries. Fluvanna-Ruritan Lake is a low productivity lake, which means it does not produce a lot of high quality fish naturally. For this reason, it was added to the department's fertilization program in the 1970s. The fertilization program consists of annually adding water-soluble fertilizer from May through September, which is the growing season for fish. The fertilizer adds nutrients to the lake that increases the amount of phytoplankton or planktonic algae, thereby increasing the food base for the fish. Proper lake fertilization can increase the number of fish produced in the lake 2 to 3 times what would be there without the program. Another important component of the fertilization program is occasionally adding crushed limestone. The addition of limestone increases water alkalinity, which helps maintain the pH buffering capacity of the water during algae blooms. With the proper pH, the blooms last longer, providing more food for the fish and decrease the amount of fertilizer needed. In Fluvanna-Ruritan, 100 tons of limestone is added every 5 to 8 years, depending on the lake's alkalinity levels. The only drawback of the fertilization program is that the lake water turns green throughout the summer due to the phytoplankton production, and some anglers have complained it makes the fish harder to catch. Some common sport fish that anglers might encounter at Fluvanna-Ruritan Lake are largemouth bass, which are the prize sport fish in the lake, and also the main fish predator. Bass are abundant and can be found throughout the lake, but are especially abundant around any shoreline structure, like fallen trees. The lake also has a small population of chain pickerel, which can frequent the shallow water around the shoreline vegetation. Black crappie, bluegill, and red air sunfish are also included in the lake. These species are the primary prey of largemouth bass, so having large populations of these species is very important to growing quality bass in the lake. If you are looking to target black crappie, they tend to inhabit deeper water, especially around submerged structure like trees and the numerous fish attractors around the lake. DWR also stocks channel catfish once a year in Fluvanna-Ruatan, and these fish often grow 18 to 20 inches within a few months. Recently, large blue catfish have been observed in the lake, likely getting into the lake through illegal stockings. DWR encourages any angler that catches one of these fish to remove it from the lake, since the large predator can disrupt the balance of the fishery in the lake. Lastly, although not a game fish, visitors might view a very large, up to 40 pounds, grass carp cruising the shallows of the lake. These fish are occasionally stocked by DWR to control vegetation like pondweed and filamentous algae. Fluvanna-Ruatan is open 24 hours a day, but we encourage anglers and especially boaters to visit the park between sunrise and sunset. Please know that an access permit is required to access the lake facility. Purchase your license or facilities access permits on our website at www.gooutdoorsvirginia.com. The department hopes that you'll visit Fluvanna-Ruatan Lake. We can't guarantee that the fish are biting, but we think you'll have an enjoyable experience. To learn more about the lake, visit our website and click on the fishing section. Thanks for watching, and remember, the outdoors are better together.
Thanks for tuning in to this month's fishing report. Hopefully you learned a little bit about the fishery here at Fluvanna-Ruatan Lake, and this is a great place to try to get that largemouth bass on your quest to completing the Virginia Bass Slam Challenge. Remember that this time of the year, now that we're in summer, dawn and dusk can be a great time to fish topwater. Poppers, frog imitations up against the bank or near any sort of emergent aquatic vegetation can be a deadly tactic this time of the year. We hope to see you out on the water.